What's up, everybody? It's Quinn here. For today's mythology, I shall be doing a reading of the Havamal, part 2 this time. You'll have to forgive me. I'm not quite sure I left off on the first time. I'm pretty sure I'm in the ballpark. I'm going to start at stanza 50 and read from there. So here we go. Let's dive in. A tree withers that on a hilltop stands, protects its neither bark nor leaves. Such is the man whom no one favors. Why should he live long? Hotter than fire, love for 5 days burns between false friends, but it is quenched when the 6th day comes, and friendship is all impaired. Sorry, y'all, hold on, these pop-ups. Alright. Something great is not always to be given. Praise is often for a trifle brought. With half a loaf and a tilted vessel, I got myself a comrade. Little are the sand grains, little are the wits, little are the minds of some men, for all men are not wise alike. Men are everywhere by halves. Moderately wise should not each one be, but never overwise. Of those men the lives are fairest, who knows much well. Moderately wise should each one be, but never overwise, for a man's heart is seldom glad if he is all wise who owns it. Moderately wise should one be, but never overwise. His destiny let no man know. Beforehand his mind will be freest from care. Brand burns from brand until it is burnt out. Fire is from the fire quickened. Man to man becomes known to speech, but a fool by his bashful silence. He should early rise, whose another's property or wife desires to have. Seldom a sluggish wolf gets prey, or a sleeping man victory. Early should he rise, he who has few workers, and his work to see to, greatly is he. I don't want to say that one. Who sleeps the morn away. Wealth half depends on their energy. Couldn't have said that one word, I would have got banned, for real. Sorry about that. Of dry planks and roof shingles a man knows the measure of the firewood that may suffice both measure and time. Washed and refracted and refreshed, let a man ride to the thing, although his garments be not too good. Of his shoes and breeches let no one be ashamed, nor of his horse, although he have not a good one. Inquire and impart should every man of sense, who will be encouraged by the sage. Let one only know, a second may not, if 3 all the world knows. Grasps and gapes when to the sea he comes, the eagle over old ocean. So is man who among many comes and has few advocates. His power should not be ever so sagacious. Man use with discretion, for he will find, when among the bold he comes, that no one alone is draughtest. Circumspect and reserved every man should be, and wary in trusting friends. Of the words that man says to another, he often pays the penalty. Much too early I came to many places, but too late to others. The beer was drunk or not ready. The dislike seldom hits the moment. Here and there I should have been invited, if I had a meal, and if a meal were needed, or 2 hams had hung at the true friends where one of I had eaten. Fire is best among the sons of men, in the sight of the sun. If his health, a man can have a life free from vice. No man lacks everything, although his health may be bad. One in his sons is happy, one in his kin, one abundant in wealth, one in his good works. It is better to live, even to live miserably. A living man can always get a cow. I saw fire consume the rich man's property, and death stood without his door. The halt can ride on horseback. The one-handed can drive cattle. The deaf can fight and be useful. To be blind is better than to be dead or burnt. No one gets good from a corpse. A son is better if born late after his father's departure. Gravestones seldom stand by the wayside unless raised by a kinsman to a kinsman. Two are adversaries, the tongue, the bone, and the bane of the head. Under every cloak I expect a hand, a dagger. A night is joyful, he who is sure of traveling, entertainment. Variable is an autumn night. Many are the weather's changes in 5 days, but more in a month. He only knows not who knows nothing, that many a one apes another. One man is rich, another poor. Let him not be thought blameworthy. Cattle die, kindred die, we ourselves must also die, but the fair fame never dies of him who has earned it. Cattle die, kindred die, and we ourselves also die. But I know one thing that never dies, judgment on each one's dread. Full storehouses I saw at the dive's sun. Now bear thy the beggar's staff, such are riches as is the twinkling of an eye. Of friends they are not most fickle. A foolish man, if he acquires wealth or a woman's love, pride grows within him, but wisdom never. He goes on more and more arrogant. Then 'tis made manifest, it of the runes, thou question him. Those to the high ones know, which the great powers invented, and the great talker painted, that he had best hold silence. At eve the day is to be praised, a woman after she is burnt, a sword after it is proved, a maid after she is married, ice after it is passed away, beer after it is drunk. In the wind one should hew wood, in a breeze row out to sea, in the dark talk with the lass. Many are the eyes of a day, in a sharp voyage to be made, but a shield is for protection, a sword for striking, but a damsel for a kiss. By the fire one should drink beer, on the ice slide, buy a horse that is lean, a sword that is rusty, feed a horse at home, but a dog at the farm. In a maiden's words no one should place faith, nor in what a woman says, for on a turning wheel have their hearts been formed, and guile in their breasts have been laid. In a creaking bow, a burning flame, a yawning wolf, a chattering crow, a grunting swine, a rootless tree, a waxing wave, a boiling kettle. A flying dart, a falling billow, a one night's ice, a coiled serpent, a woman's bed talk or a broken sword, a bear's play or a royal child, a sick calf, a self-willed thrall, a flattering of prophetesses, a corpse newly slain, a serene sky, a laughing lord, a barking dog, and at a harlot's grief. An early sown field let no one trust, nor prematurely in a son, weather rules this field, and with the sun, each of which is doubtful. A brother's murderer, though one of the high road met, a half-burnt house, an over-swift horse. A horse is useless if a leg be broken. No man is confiding as to trust any of these. Such is the love of women, whose falsehood mediate, as if one drove not roughshod on a slippery ice, a spirited 2 years old, an unbroken horse, or as in a raging storm, a helmless ship is beaten, as if the halt were set to catch a reindeer in the thawing fell. Where am I at? Okay, so openly I now speak, because I both see and know unstable are men's minds towards women. 10 is we speak most fair when we most falsely think, that deceives even the cautious. Fair shall speak, and money offered, who would obtain a woman's love? Praise the form of a fair damsel, he gets who counts her. At love should no one ever wonder in another. A beauteous countenance oft captivates the wise, which captivates not the foolish. Let no one wonder at another's folly. It is the lot of many. All powerful desires makes of the sons of men fools even of the wise. The mind only knows what lies near the heart. That alone is conscious of our affections. No disease is worse to a sensible man than not to be content with himself. That I experienced when in the reeds I sat, awaiting my delight, body and soul to me was that discreet maiden. Nevertheless, I possess her not. Billings last on her couch I found, sun bright sleeping, a prince's joy to me seemed not, if not with that, to form, to live. Yet nearer Eve must thou, Odin, come, if thou wilt talk the maiden over, all will be disastrous, unless we alone are privy to such misdeeds. I returned, thinking to love at her wise desire. I thought I should obtain her whole heart in love. When next I came to the bold warriors were all awake, with lights burning and bearing torches. Thus was the way to pleasure closed. But at the approach of morn, when again I came, the household all was sleeping. The good damsel's dog alone I found tied to the bed. Many a fair maiden, when rightly known towards men is fickle, that I experienced when the discreet maiden I strove to seduce. Contumely of every kind that widely girl heaped upon me, nor that damsel gained I ought. Sorry, I had to stop for a second, y'all. That word right there, the contumely, that's the first time I've ever seen that word. I'm probably not even saying it right. I'm learning new stuff every day. Where was that? Alright. At home, let a man be cheerful, and towards a guest, liberal, of wise conduct. He should be of good memory and ready of speech. If much knowledge has desires, he must often talk on good. Thimblefambi he is called who little has to say, such is the nature of the simple. The old Jotun I sought, now am I to come back. Little got I thereby silence. In many words I spoke to my advantage in Suttung's halls. Gunnlaug gave me on her golden seat a draught of precious mead, a bad recompense I afterwards made her for her whole soul, her fervent love. Rati's mouth I caused to make a space, and gnaw the rock over and under we were the Jotun's ways. Thus I had my head in peril. Sorry, y'all. Alright. Let me get a drink of some high quality H2O. All this reading, man, my throat is a desert. Actually, remember, it's goozle. We don't call it a throat around here. No, around here, it's a goozle. Alright, let me get back to it. I'm starting to drift off. Where was we at? Of a well-assumed form, I made good use, few things fail the wise. For Odohre is now come up to men's earthly dwellings. 'Tis to me doubtful that I could have come from the Jotun's courts, had not Gunnlaug aided me, the good damsel over whom I laid my arm. On the day following came Hrimsthursar to learn something of the High One in the High One's hall. After Bolverk they inquired whether he was with the gods, where they come, or Suttung had destroyed him. Odin, I believe, a ring oath gave, who in his faith will trust. Suttung defrauded, of his drink bereft, and Gunnlaug made to weep. Time 'tis to discourse from the preacher's chair. By the well of Erd I sat silent, I saw and meditated, I listened to men's words. Of runes I heard discourse, of things divine, nor graving them were they silent, nor of sages' counsels, as the High One's hall. In the High One's hall I thus heard say, I counsel thee, Lotfafnir, to take advice. Thou wilt profit if thou takest. Rise not at night, unless to explore, or art compelled to go out. If I counsel thee, Lotfafnir, to take advice, thou wilt profit if thou takest it. In an enchantress's embrace, thou mayest not sleep, so that in her arms she clasp thee. She will be the cause that thou carest not for thing or prince's words. Food thou wilt shun, and human's joys, sorrowful wilt thou go to sleep. I counsel thee, another's wife, entice thou never to secret converse. I counsel thee, by fell of earth, if thou have to travel, provide thee well with food. I saw mortally wounded a man, a wicked woman's words, a false tongue caused his death, and most unrighteously. I counselled thee, if thou knewest thou hast a friend, whom thou wilt cast trust, go off to visit him, for with brushwood ever grown, and with high grass is the way that no one treads. I counsel thee, a good man attract to thee in pleasant converse, and salutary speech learn whilst thou invest. I counsel thee, a good man attract thee to pleasure in converse, in speech, while thou livest. I counsel thee, with thy friend be thou never first to quarrel. Care gnaws the heart, if no one canst thy whole mind disclose. Sorry, this is like some tongue twisters in there. It's some like really, it's like old English, and it's tongue twister, man. Alright. I counsel thee, words thou never shouldest exchange with a witless fool. for whom an ill-conditioned man thou wilt never get a return for good, but a good man will bring thee favor by his praise. There is a mingling of affection where one can tell another after his mind, everything is better than being with the deceitful. He is not another's friend who says, as he says, I counsel thee, even in these words, quarrel not with a worse man. Often the better yields when the worse strikes. I counsel thee, be not a shoemaker, not a shaft maker, unless for thyself it be. For a shoe, if ill made, or a shaft, if crooked, will call down evil on thee. I counsel thee, whenever of injury thou knowest, regard that injury as thy own, and give thy foes no peace. I counsel thee, rejoice at evil, be thou never, but let good give thee pleasure. I counsel thee, in a battle look not up, like swine the sons of men then become, that men may not fascinate thee. If thou wilt induce a good woman to pleasant converse, thou must promise fair, and hold to it. No one turns from good if it can be got. I enjoin thee to be wary, but not over wary. At drinking be thou most wary, and with another's wife. And thirdly, the thieves delude thee not. Vices and virtues the sons of mortals hear, and bear in their breasts mingled. No one is so good that no failing attends him, nor so bad as he to be good for nothing. At a hoary speaker laugh thou never. Often is good that which the aged utter. Oft from a shriveled hide discreet words issue, from those whose skin is pendant and decked with scars, and who go tottering amongst the vile. I counsel thee, rail not at a guest, not from thy gate thrust him. Treat well the indigent, they will speak well of thee. Strong is the bar that must be raised to admit all. Do thou give a penny, or thy will call down on thee every ill in the limbs. Alright, y'all, so that was my reading of the Havamal part 2. There will be a part 3. There's still a lot more to read. I was trying to get in as much as I could, but I'm starting to lose focus here. I think I did better. I'm getting better at making these videos longer. I appreciate y'all sticking with me. Any comments, concerns, suggestions, please leave them in the comments. What do y'all think about the Havamal? Like, I love the Havamal. I listen to it pretty much every day. There's some really good advice in there. If I could sum up some of what I read, keep your wits sharp. Be careful who you trust and invest time in. Be better than your enemies. Be the best version you can be. Because in this life, in this world, we really don't have anything except for our reputations. Anything can be lost and taken except for your name, your reputation, and when we die, that stays behind. So we should invest in developing a good reputation. We should help others, especially like it said in there, the indigent. We need to look after everybody, because everybody is useful and everybody is worthy. Alright, so I guess that's it. Much love. I appreciate y'all so much. Come back tomorrow. I try to put out a video, at least one video, one short every day. Got 7 subscribers now. I'm trying to, get more. If I get up to 50, I can start doing lives and stuff, and that'll be pretty fun. But you know the deal, y'all. Stay healthy, stay wealthy, and wise. Peace out.